Welcome to yestohellwith.com. When the IRS or federal government requires a response, we must ask questions in a strict order: authority, jurisdiction, and then obligation, because asking out of sequence concedes what cannot be undone. Most people lose by skipping authority and jurisdiction and jumping straight to argument of facts, amounts, or fairness, which silently supplies the very assumptions the system failed to establish as proof. Order matters because properly sequenced questions force structure into a presumption-based process while preventing you from providing admissions the record does not already contain. This is important. Now that expectations are clear, we can continue. Up to this point, we've explained why order matters and what it does, and just as importantly, what it does not do. Now we get specific. When silence ends and a response is required, the first response must be a question, but not just any question. The order of the questions matters. Ask the wrong question first, and you concede something you cannot undo. So here is the rule. Before you argue facts, before you dispute amounts, before you deny liability, three things must be established: authority, jurisdiction, and obligation. And they must be established in that order. The first question is about authority. Who is acting? What office is making the claim? And under what delegated authority are they acting? If the actor cannot be identified, nothing else matters. The second question is about jurisdiction. Over whom does this authority apply? Where does it apply, and what connects you to it? Jurisdiction is never assumed correctly just because a letter was sent. It must be shown. The third question is about obligation. What specific law creates a duty? What activity triggers that duty? And how does that law apply to you? Until those three things are answered, there is no verified obligation. And without a verified obligation, there is nothing to rebut. Here is where most people destroy their position. They skip authority, they skip jurisdiction, and they jump straight to arguing obligation, even with questions. They argue amounts, they argue facts, they argue fairness. And by doing that, they silently concede everything that came before. That is why order matters. Questions are not asked to be answered politely. They are asked to force structure into a process that operates on presumption. If the agency answers, the record is clarified. If the agency ignores the questions, the record still speaks. Either way, you have not supplied what the system failed to establish itself. That is the purpose of order. In the next video, we'll slow this down further and show what these questions actually look like on paper and why wording matters as much as timing. And as always, may truth reign supreme.